Bon, alors, welcome back. We're done with Newcastle, even though there is still controversy about that going on. So, might come up with something sooner rather than later concerning them. Now I'm going to talk about a team that is amongst the best summer transfer windows that I've seen in, I would dare say, nearly modern history. Not as in world-shattering transfer fees and the best world-class players coming to them. However, they just got promoted to the Premier League. They, with that promotion, got one of the biggest budgets in the league, actually. I think they're in the top 6-7 teams with the biggest transfer budget available to them this summer because of that promotion, which I wasn't expecting at all. I didn't know those figures until I searched them a few months ago, because they are a team that is actually my hometown, and they've been out of the top flight football for nearly a decade now. So even though they are my hometown, their neighbouring rivals, the Derby, Newcastle, is my family club through my grandfather, lifelong Newcastle fan, and will always be my little favourite club. However, I'm still super happy for the northeast of England to have Sunderland back in the Premier League, especially with some of the transfers they've been doing. Some of the moves they've done this summer are absolutely insanity. I mean, they've trimmed the squad a bit, right? They've unfortunately let Job Bellingham go, who I think was their player of the season. I'd have to double check. If he wasn't, he was obviously in the top 3 contenders for that little award. Went to Dortmund for about £32 million. That's 37 million euros. Tom Watson to Brighton, a midfielder, or again left for £10 million, so about 12 mil euros. They sent one that I've always considered a young prospect at their academy, because I've had my eye on him already in the past. It's Adel Aouchiche, a young French player who's on loan at Aberdeen with, I think, a £1.2 million loan fee. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Nathan Bishop to Wimbledon, undisclosed fee. So I can't figure that out for now. However, incoming players, they've brought in Enzo Lefebvre, French midfielder, winger from Roma. We know his potential. He hasn't fully fulfilled it at Roma. However, they got him on a bargain. They got him for £19 million. That's less than 25 million euros. I think it's like 23 mil. That's a steal for a player with that potential. And he's still young. He's early 20s. They brought in Habib Diarra from Strasbourg, their captain, alongside Andre Santos, who also was one of the captains of the club. Midfielder again. Got him for more of a premium because he came off a better season with Strasbourg, because Strasbourg have had a hell of a season. So he is their captain. He was their captain until he left. £30 million, so about 35 million euros. Not cheap, however, for a player of that promising quality, I love it. What bloody good business. They also brought in Noah Sadiki, centre-half from Union in Germany in the Bundesliga. £17 million, about 20 million euros. What can we say? He's got top flight experience in Germany. He's also got a bit of European experience through and through. Hell of a bargain for £17 million. I mean, hell of a bargain. No, sorry. big words thrown around, but that's my excitement, because they're building a squad, not of lesser players, nor top world-class players, but my God, do each of those have a potential. And they had the vision. So not just props to the club, but props to the scouting teams, the manager, the sporting directors, because they have nailed the chemistry that I'm seeing in those players through the different profiles that are some different, some very similar, but I see them gelling so well. And wait, because I haven't finished the incoming players list. So Siddiqui from Union, Ronaldo, the fullback, left back from Atletico Madrid, slightly older, however, hell of an experienced player. So, and they got him on a free. What could you ask more than that? Insane, love it. They've also got I am so sorry for the butched name. Tadley. I can't even pronounce his first name. Sorry about that. From Bruges, young right winger. I think he was their player of the season, if not even the league's player of the season. I forget which one. £20 million. Guys, I don't think people understand this. That is a bargain, because usually from any European top flight, the player of the season, the young player of the season, or even the young player of the season of one of those top flight teams doesn't come at anything less than 30, 40 million. Why? Because they know the prospect. £20 million, 23 million euros. That in today's market is a bargain, especially for such a talented right winger. Insanity. Simon Adingra from Brighton. I've been wanting him as a backup at Arsenal for the last 2 seasons. And you're telling me Sunderland swooped in for him for £21 million. As if Brighton all of a sudden didn't even value him that much anymore, even though he was one of their main starters throughout the last few seasons. Insane. So about 25 million euros, left winger, right winger, but right now with Talbi on the right, I'd put Adingra on the left with Enzo Lefebvre as a forward midfielder, attacking midfielder. I love that attacking three. And they've got their player who's their starter, who was also their star player in the playoffs of the back end of last season, Mayenda, as the striker. For now, they may go in, they may have other targets. I haven't figured out if they have any solid leads yet for the attack. However, they brought in another there just recently, over the last 2 6 another player who's, oh my God, that player for me is one of the best midfielders of the last 5, 6, 7 years. He's had a big dip a few years ago, came back so strong. He was an invincible with Bayer Leverkusen last season, and he was club captain for that one. He was club captain and yes, he had a dip, but he was club captain and starting midfielder. Yes, he had a dip, but he was club captain and starting midfielder the previous seasons at Arsenal. Is Granit Xhaka. I can't believe I saw that news this morning or yesterday, and I was so bloody excited. Guys, that for me, I saw that news and I was so happy. My hometown, northeast of England, a small little area, has brought in an European invincible who was the club captain during that invincible season, who was also club captain at my favourite team, Arsenal, who that broke my heart when he left, because we could have used him again until last year. And he's now in Sunderland for the northeast of England, for the derby. That is insanity. I've been saying insanity a few times during this video, guys, but it's the best thing I've heard football-wise, Northeast football, in so long. And yes, Alexander Isak arrived at Newcastle a few years ago. I loved it, all of that, but wow. Sunderland are pulling off a hell of a transfer window. A hell of a transfer window. They also, and they're not done, mind you, because they still have approximately 80 to 100 million pounds, so about 93 to 117 million euros to spend still currently of actual like spending capacity. One of their main targets, I read that this morning, one of the main targets is Amin Adli from Bayer Leverkusen too, so great chemistry there with Granit Xhaka. And there's a few more. I know only one of the other prospects that I've listed myself a few there. The only one I know the name of is Pirola, centre half, if I remember well. I am looking forward to seeing what that gives, because he could be a good backup too. Right now they're starting central defenders Siddiqui and Ballard, a former Arsenal Academy prospect. I've always rated him. I hated that we let him go. I love him at Sunderland. He's done wonders with them, and he's still doing wonders. So honestly, I'm loving the whole squad right now. They've got Mandava on the left, Hume, that's been with them for a few years now through their academy, if I'm not mistaken, on the right as a right back. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Even instead of Mandava as left back, Reinildo from Atletico Madrid, who just came in for free. Guys, I am so excited to see Sunderland doing what they can do, what they've been doing for the last 2 seasons, I think, because they've done back-to-back promotions, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I am looking forward to seeing them do what I know they can potentially do. And, you know, finishing in the top half of the table, why not? Because over the last 2-3 seasons, all promoted clubs got relegated straight away. And that's not good for English football. I hate it. We loved 2016 when Leicester won the flipping Premier League and qualified for the Champions League in doing so. You know, all these last few years, Aston Villa, West Ham have been doing insane in Premier League and in Europe. I love it. And now we've got smaller clubs with bigger potential because bigger purchasing power. But oh my God, like, let me know what you think. And I'm going to elaborate a bit more in a couple of other videos on either targets or who I would change. And after that, we're going to keep going through the different teams that have had very good summer transfer windows, despite, you know, some of them possibly being Arsenal rivals. But, you know, it is what it is. I got to analyze football as it goes and be true to the facts, the numbers, the analysis. And you guys let me know what you think. Let me know also what teams you think I should cover. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and follow.